Okay, I'm back. I'm back again. Oh dear, oh dear. May. We're still in May. Okay, or at least I'm still looking at dates in May. Obviously, May with the name Mary is obviously a super interesting month to be looking at. Nothing seemed to have transpired on the 9th, which was the major day that I was looking at for the Hoover Dam. Okay, maybe something before that date for Madonna to croak it on, and the idea being that Madonna, the death of Madonna, would be the symbolism of the Matrix dying, the same as the the falling of the dam again symbolizes the death of the Matrix. Okay. Um, so nothing happened. Okay, and I've done the decodes on all this and how we get to these dates, but but oh, um, there's another couple of dates here in May, and this is something that's I've just looked at here in the last couple of days, and so I want to make this pretty quick because is something going to happen? Probably not, but there's an interesting story that goes along with these dates, and I'm like, if you know, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, because if I don't make it and something happens, people say, "Oh, damn, why didn't you make that?" And I'll be like, "Well, I didn't think anything was going to happen. I've made so many videos now, and nothing's really happened. It's like I'm still climbing down the rabbit hole. I'm still going down the rabbit hole. Where it ends, I'm not sure. Um, but it's almost everything that I've done up until this point all links together. All it's just like a continuation of um, clues to this point. Okay, so it's not like this is just completely random here. This is just following on. Um, it's just following on, and then out pops an interesting story from this. So, where do I want to start with this interesting story? I want to start at the 17th of May. Okay, we're in May here on the calendar. The 17th of May. We also have the 18th. We also have the 19th. We have the 20th, and we have the 21st. All of these dates, all three of them, all five of them, or however many there are all interesting. I mean, the 17th here is really interesting, right? I'm going to explain why. This ties, I think, to Madonna again. A potential death date for Madonna, maybe. I'm not sure. Or it could be potentially something to do with the Hoover Dam as well. I'm not sure. But 17 and the 5, 175, that is those numbers, those same numbers in a different order, are a 157 of balance. Okay. We also have 137, again, another sort of completion balance number again to do with God. And then we also have 228, which again, if you go, and these are the days that, days gone in the year and days remaining in the year. Sorry, I should explain that. But 228, again, the 28th of February is one of those special days because the next day, that's when the 1 appears, okay, which is 229, okay. That happens once every 4 years, okay. So this idea of when I jump back to talking about the dollar bill, the dollar bill is made up, the one is made up of what? 4 quarters, okay. The quarter is so important with it just seems to be one of those things that pops up a lot in America, okay. And I'm thinking American football with the quarterback, okay, trying to get the quarterback, you know, the basically the main man on the pitch, okay. And so there's definitely a story with the quarter, and now I'm going to link you, with like the 17th, and I'm going to link the 20th specifically to this idea of getting the quarter back. Okay, let me explain. Okay, what we need to do is we need to go to my chart of Lorraine. For new people, please just go watch this video here. Okay, oh blimey, the chart that predicts the future explained. This will explain what is going on with these numbers here. Okay, for people that are up to speed already, I still have this downward arrow, the downward V of the womb. Okay, and then the upward arrow of man here. I still have that in the table, and we have the number 4 row still in here. This row, this orange row, is essentially the easiest way to explain it is this set of numbers isn't usually in the table, so it's like it's hidden. Okay, but it's there though. Okay, but it doesn't apply, it doesn't factor into like some of these totals here. Okay, in fact, it doesn't factor into any of the totals, and the totals are really interesting, especially if you've seen Back to the Future, you know that these totals start looking interesting here. 88 and 55. Okay, so with that being said, I put this quarter row in the other day, and something just occurred to me just recently, just within the last couple of days now, is that this row, did I just call it the quarter row? This 4 row here is a quarter row. Okay, this is 1 4. Okay, so this is our missing quarter here. This is the missing quarter. Okay, this is the quarter that we have to get back. The quarter that we have to get back is this number 11 here, because right now that's been lost. When 9/11 happened, that was lost, and essentially we became damned off at that point. We became damned. We were damned. Okay, and that's what we've got to get back. We've got to find that balance again. The number 11 represents balance. Okay, so that's what we have to get back. So we need this quarter back. Okay, look at the play on words here with American football. We need the quarterback, and the guy that throws, essentially that's what we've got to get through here, through the Vesica Pisces, or at least we've got to become the Vesica Pisces. In a way, we've got to be able to balance both sides of reality, and the Vesica Pisces is that point, is that portal between, metaphorically speaking, between both sides of reality. Okay, so that is the place where we need to be. Okay, so to explain this a little bit further, so this is what we've got to get back. Okay, so we got to this date here, and I thought this was going to be it for the dam here, this 5/9. Okay, I was just as sure as anything that's going to be it, because look, look where it is. It's exactly 100 days on from this day, and we're exactly 7,910 days on from 9/11. All the numbers were adding up right here. Okay, but what we need to do is get this 11 back. Okay, now remember at the Hoover Dam, there's several different references to the 11/11. I mean, I've mentioned the inlet towers, that are around, that are on the inside of the dam, but don't forget there's those 2 winged angels, and they've got those dog ears, and those 2 guys sit there. Okay, and they have 2 11s again. Okay, so they're sitting there on their little thrones with their dog ears, but those 2 wings coming up are a set of 11s, 2 sets of 11s. Okay, so we had 1 set of 11s for the first event, the start, and that thing was gone, and then we've got to have another set of 11s for the return. I guess. I don't know however we want to look at that, but there's definitely an 11 reference at the Hoover Dam. Okay, this 11 needs to be resurrected. Resurrected needs to be resurrected, reconstituted. I don't know how you want to, what you want to, how you want to say that, but that's what needs to happen. And so, basically, it's in here. This is the missing. This is the 11 that needs to be remembered. Okay. Now, if we go from 5/9 and we add on 11 days, okay, it's going to take us to the 20th of May. Now, this is really super duper interesting now, because the 20th of May has some symbolism in itself. Again, back with the $1 bill. I'm going to show you this with the $1 bill first before I forget to do it. Let me see if I've got a $1 bill in here. I've only got the $1 bill with the number 10. Let me just. This will be easy enough. Let's just go to the $1 bill, and I'm going to show you the symbolism that's there. Where have I got that? Let me have a look up here. Okay, now you can see my cursor surely. Now, Washington is stuck in the dam, right? Let's imagine that. He's the A, he's the alpha, the first president, the alpha, and here's the omega here, okay? And it's surrounding him. Talked about this before in older decodes on the dollar bill. So this is the omega, okay? This is essentially the dam. This is, those gravity dams, or could be called a horseshoe dam, or this is the horseshoe here, okay? Now, what am I going to say about this? I'm going to go ahead and draw this in paint now so you can see this thing, and then I'm going to break it down and I'll show you something, okay? So what we have is we have this. Comes in, comes up, around, like that, okay? And like that. Now, excuse me, but there is a number here to do with this 520, okay? I'm going to show you the 520 in the chart. Here's the 520, okay? 521 shows up over here as well, but we're not concerned with that right now. We're looking at this 520 that's right here, okay? The top and the bottom of the metaphysical. Now, I went through all this stuff about 5 is the mirror of 2, yeah? If you had a mirror line right here, 5 is a mirror of 2, okay? Or you could write it over here as well, yeah? They're mirrors of one another, okay? So pretty important. Now, I don't know if you can make this out. Let me go to a different color. But check out this. Okay, this is a number 2. So that would give, the idea here would be this is a number 5. Okay. Now all you've got to do is essentially just alter that just slightly now. Okay, and you've got the number. Okay, the number 52 there is making the omega. Okay, I think that is for sure something. Okay, I think that is a reference. Okay, this 5-2. I think it's a, I don't know if people can see the same as me here, but that's what I'm seeing with the omega sign. It's a 52 in disguise. Okay, now I'll tell you what else is interesting about this. Is this thing here again is a womb, right? This is what's important about this thing. And the womb again is the what we call the cup of Christ, isn't it? So again, if we do the same thing with the number 5, okay, and the number 2, okay, now you can see that that is a cup, yeah? You could put some water in it, okay, and you could fill it up with some water here. But do you see that the number 52, the omega sign, is the cup of Christ, okay? Where do we see this in a film? Right at the start of the film, we see this with Marty and Strickland, okay? They form the two faces with the nose coming down and then the mouth here and the chin, and they bring their they bring their noses together, okay? And we get that same cup formed, yeah? I know that's not very good, but you get the idea. I mean, right at the start of Back to the Future, we have a 52 reference with the cup of Christ, okay? With the Holy Grail and the Holy Grail right here. Number 52, 520. Yeah, the top and the bottom of this column here. The number that is a perfect reflection of one another, I guess. Well, maybe not perfect reflection, but pretty close. Okay. So again, this is the Giannis connection in GoldenEye. Where else we've seen Giannis, I don't know, in dozens of other things. Okay. But rather than looking like with Giannis is usually looking into the past and into the future, what's happened here is in order to find the present, okay, are you getting this? We have to look inward, yeah? We have to find balance by looking inwards. So that is pretty important. So keep that in the back of your mind for a second, because I'm going to show you something even more nuts in Back to the Future. Let me go to the scene right now. Back to the Future, the hoverboard scene. The hoverboard scene is the scene where the courthouse gets smashed up. Okay, that Lake Mead is in front of the courthouse there. I don't know if you're getting this, with all the boulders around. What used to be Boulder Dam, which is now the Hoover Dam. That courthouse represents the fictional system. Okay, it is the temple. Okay, where the number 5 resides. Okay, the only problem is, you'll notice this during the film, is that that thing is corrupted. In 2 it becomes corrupted, over the top corrupted, with the Trump towers, the Biff Biff Tower, whatever it's called. Okay, and we have that reference back to it, the courthouse has turned into that big tower. Okay, so we have that reference back to Vegas with the gambling. Okay, we just had the Kentucky Derby, yeah, and the other references with red rum. How does Biff earn his money? Not really earn it, but how does he get his money? How does he get his wealth? By gambling. Okay, and I think it's even maybe it's even a horse race is his first big win. I don't know. Um, there's the clue, with the Gray's Almanac. Okay, connecting back to the Kentucky Derby now, connecting back to horse racing. So anyway, the hoverboard scene is the hoverboard scene, is the reference to the dam being destroyed. Okay, look at the courthouse. Look at the Art Deco. Look at the Art Deco in a number of films. I'm thinking like Ghostbusters, for instance. Even in Ghostbusters, I just watched 5 minutes of it the other night. 5'9" shows up. I watched like the first 5-10 minutes of it, and I think the 5-9 that I spotted was the one where um, Egon is telling Ray how much the interest is going to be on the firehouse, and it's like 59,000 a year or something stupid like that. So the 5-9s are in there. In fact, I just watched True Lies again. The 129 is referenced with the nuclear bomb going off. The 129, 59. The 5-9. Well, I saw the 5-9 in there. I can't remember where it was now. Just thinking about it. There was another reference back to this thing here, 633 Squadron, and in fact, there's a reference back to Ghostbusters with it as well, with Dana Barrett. Barrett is in the last scene of that film where he's blowing up a helicopter. Dana, his daughter, with him. They managed to get a what's the word? A Harrier jump jet. They've got one of those in the film. You know, that reference back to Dam Busters. You know, the plane destroying the raid. Okay, interesting. We had that same thing occur with the 2001 event. Okay, so the 633 again. I'm going to show you what that connects to. It connects to this thing, 633 Squadron, which of course is a Dam Busters type raid on a V2 rocket fuel plant or something like that. Something to do with the V2 rocket. I've not watched the film, but it is interesting that at the start of this, supposedly during the film, the Norwegian resistance has to destroy the anti-aircraft defenses immediately before the attack. I literally just today, I'm like, I'm going to watch the news, and they had something about destroying with this thing with Russia about I believe it was an anti-aircraft missile defense system being attacked. Just nuts stuff like that. But again, we've got names in here that are interesting. With the, I'm sure we had 2 or 3 names. There was definitely we had squadron leader Frank Adams. You know, Don Barrett. Okay. Again, just little things that are popping out. You know, I'm trying to think what in True Lies why I saw that 59. I'm sure I saw a 59 in there. I can't think where it was now. I don't know why. Oh, it was on her car. That was. Oh, that was it. Sorry. If you've seen the film, she is about to start having an affair with this fake spy, right? Spoiler alert. And Arnie basically pulls a fast one on all. Without going into detail with the film, what happens is she turns up for this meeting with the guy, and her car has a 5-9 on it. Okay, on the number plate. Interesting. Then after the meeting, and Arnie scares the bejesus out of this imposter guy that's pretending to be a spy so he can sleep with his Arnie's wife. Where do they take him? They've got him right on the edge of a spillway on a dam. I tell you what, I mean, there are several little references in that film all the way through, and it was like, you know, again, it's another one of these films that YouTube wants me to watch. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. But anyway, other interesting names: Squadron Leader Scott. So you can go through these yourself. But there's loads of I don't know where do you draw the line at what's really interesting and what's not interesting. I mean, of course, Frank Adams is very interesting. Barrett, after watching that film and seeing Barrett in the background, and then the daughter's name Dana, and Dana Barrett, and you just go around in circles with these references. But yeah, 633 Squadron. So where am I going with this? In Back to the Future, we have this 633. We also have a CSI that I've talked about before, and I've talked about this being 633 Squadron before, a reference to 633 Squadron, okay, and also a CSI Vegas reference, okay. But what I haven't done is tied this back into the chart of Lorraine, and I'm going to show you that now, okay, because I don't know why this suddenly occurred to me, but when we look at 633 Squadron, 633, okay, there is a counterpart number to that, okay, and it's this 20 here, and the counterpart number to the 6 is 5. So the 633 Squadron, if you have this table, you know that it could potentially be, I mean, it could be referenced in several other things, but it could be potentially, I really can't speak tonight, potentially be referencing 520. Okay, so that I thought was really super interesting, with the start of Back to the Future, with the two faces coming together, the idea of the omega sign also being a 2 and a 5, and the two faces being a 2 and a 5, forming the cup. I just thought that was really an interesting little story there. Well, there's also some more interesting stuff with this. Okay, so let's not hang on a minute, because when I was looking at this with this missing quarter row here, this 28 stuck out at me, because 28 is in a video and it's been bugging me. Okay, and it can mean a lot of different things, but this 28 here, let me show you where this shows up in a video. Back to Madonna now. Okay, Ghost Town, 28. Okay, right here as the end of the video is happening. 28. Okay, all I'm saying is that tomorrow is the 17th. You know, and if this ties, if this is a reference now, maybe it's also doing the same thing with, like with the Back to the Future thing with the 633. Maybe this 28 is a direct reference to this 17. Okay, and of course everything right now is to do with May. Okay, so May the 17th. Let me show you that real quick again for newbies. The reason why that 517 is so important is right here. This 157. Yeah, we're in the 3 row, which is all to do with pi, and pi is all to do with the dam. Okay, here's our 10 for completion. Okay, 157. That just happens to be half of 314 as well, but that is a completion number, you know, for the cycle. All of this is to do with the 10 cycle being completed, which is what we're looking at for our reference. Okay, and again, 557, 570 here. 570. This is to do with completion, a cycle being completed. Okay. The cross reference for this is 10 and 10. Okay, when we just do like times table. So 570. Okay, 1010. So again, that number is super interesting with the idea of completion. Okay, and then when we look down here, you know, we see a load of other numbers that sort of tie into Madonna. Okay, because I'm going to show you why this 19 or 91, which again is a sort of mirrored number, but remember 19 is, when you mirror it, pi. Okay, if I mirror that now. Okay. Okay, can you see how that's 19 as a mirror of pi? This is why I think the woo woo flu 19 is a big reference to this whole thing. Okay. And again, with the omega, the big O, there's a hole. That's the loop hole that we have to drop through. That's the Vesica Pisces that we have to be born again from. We need to stand in that gateway and be able to balance both sides of reality. Okay, so let me show you something interesting with the 91 real quick before I forget with the number jump. Okay. Did I show you this number jump already with the May the 9th? And we go on 11 days and it's May the 20th. Okay, that's our missing 11. But if we go 91 days on, okay. Oh, that's not. Oh no, it was. Hang on. Let me put this potential date in. May the 17th, and we go that 91 days. Okay, it's back to Madonna's birthday. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because the 17 here, this again with the 91, 191, this number here, this same set of numbers here for 517, and again this bloody number here, the 225, which I've talked about, could potentially be a 1022 or 1025, and that again, that 22nd of October, an important reference for Madonna with that train crash. And also right here, this 123 that's also in the 10 column right above this lot of stuff. Again, this has a counterpart number, which is 122. If you need explanation about that, it's in previous videos, but basically it's a total up. It's a total that exists in the table, actually exists over at this point here. But this is basically a twin number that's in the table. Each one of these numbers here has a number that is one less than itself, and it's kind of interesting. There's that 122 again with that train crash. Again, when Marty first goes to Sea Dock, you'll notice that there's a train honking its horn in the background. When he first goes to see him to do that, when they do the first jump back with when he first gets to the Twin Pine Malls and it says 1:16 on the clock, and you can flip that to a 9:11. Well, also that's before the whole thing started, and before the whole thing started, let's look at what we've got here. Yeah, there's our 6:11. When the dam, when the whizzway is open, when the legs are open, or when the birthing canal is open, 6:11. Okay, this is a number that Jurassic Liars goes on about, and then you can flip that around, and of course it makes the 9:11. So one way is open, one way is shut. Okay. What's interesting about that 6:11 is I'll show you something on the dartboard here in a second with the 6:11, and then at the top of the dartboard, this 5:9 exists at the top of the dartboard. Okay, and 7:13 is at the bottom of the dartboard, opposite that pretty much. So what we end up with is, going from these two dates going down, we end up with, the bullseye is right here. Okay, between these two dates, 6:11. So that ties, obviously could be that date, or what I would say is that right in the center of the dartboard is both the number, again, 25 and 50. So again, we're getting all kinds of references with the dartboard. But again, at the top of the dartboard is this number. Yeah, 520. Okay, that is right at the top of the dartboard, and at the bottom of the dartboard is the number 3. Okay, which is right next to this 20 here. Okay, so it's pretty interesting. I'm going to go to the dartboard now so we can have a quick look at that. But this is the hidden quarter line here. The hidden quarter line. So we've got the 28 for Madonna, referencing the 17th in her ghost town, and then again the 633 squadron at the top here, referencing 520. So you tell me, I have no idea. And also, let me go to dartboard and let's just have a quick look at it real quick. Okay, so I've got the dartboard here, and let's put a colour on it. So here's our 611, yeah? So that's pretty interesting. And then from top to bottom is our 20 and our 3. Okay, and here's our 52 or 25, 52, 520 at the top. Okay, so this was the, we had the top of the, I guess I should do it in blue. So we had the top of that one column, which was 20 at the top. Okay, 20 at the top, 5 at the top, and 20 at the bottom. Okay, so you can see where that exists now on the dartboard. Right at the top of this is the cross that obviously makes the most sense on the dartboard. Yeah, straight up and down cross. Then what we also had, there is also another number in there, which is 521. Okay, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but of course it's the day afterwards, and it's a big day in several of my decodes, and I call that the matrix number there. But again, I don't want to overcomplicate this. It's already pretty complicated anyway. And then our so our 633, yeah, our 633 squadron is 633. Okay, why am I writing 30 there? Stop that down. 633. Okay, references in our chart references these numbers. Okay, and then when we come to this, now what we're looking at is these two here. Okay, and that's straight up and down. Okay, here's the 20 here, and here's the 3 for the 33. Okay, so if that wasn't enough, remember I said when we're coming through Diversica Pisces, there's a number. Okay, and it's 139, and that number is right here. And there is also another number which is 713, which again is also at the bottom of the table there. Okay, below below that 11. Okay, this is the number going through. Okay, 9 is inside the dam, 13 is outside the dam, and there's that 11 in between, and then we get down to 317. Okay, so that's all really interesting stuff. Okay, now what is also interesting is that when we look at Madonna's cross, it kind of just goes across here like this through, and we have the numbers of pi here. Okay, and here's Madonna's birthday, and then perpendicular to that we've got the abbreviated 1 1/4, 12.25, or 12.5, or 125, 1 1/4 reference, okay, and then we've got this 172 reference, which is again her gematria. We have a one. I can't remember which way around it goes, but we have a 172 reference with that jumbled up numbers there. What's interesting about this cross now, and it ties to, see, we've got the red cross coming through here. Oh, blooming hell, if you could draw a straight line. We've got that red cross coming through here. Well, this 5 and this 17 is obviously a set of numbers that tie in between these two. So let's do it in green so you can see. So in between those two is this green coming down here. It's getting a bit complicated now, but it's basically coming from the 17 here to this 5. Yeah, 517. Pretty interesting. And if you were to write a green cross in on the opposite axis here, on the perpendicular axis to that, you've got 813. And again, 813, that reminds me of 831, which is Diana. That's her death date. So that's pretty interesting that Diana dies that day. And I was just wondering, now about tomorrow. I don't know. I've done so many of these videos. Stuff ties together, but that's the problem is, where does it end? Where's the beginning and where's the end? Do you know what I mean? Stuff ties together, but that's the problem. But anyway, it's really interesting with the dartboard for sure. This whole decode is really interesting with the dartboard and these crosses in here. Sorry it's such a pig's ear on that one, but that's basically what I wanted to show you. I feel like that I'm missing something here. We've done everything now. We've done that. Let me go back to the chart and just make sure I didn't miss anything else. Did I forget anything else? Here's this 913 right here and here. Okay. And again, I've shown you before how 139 ties back to 59 here. And, there's other numbers that it ties to. Here's the 512, 521, which again, the reason why this is so important is because this is back to the start again. Because look, 13, 2, 213 is actually 213 is the start of this whole thing here, okay? Which again is a number that is in the dollar bill. So, that's what I forgot to mention. This idea of the quarterback again with this number here. Right at the start of Back to the Future, Marty does the amp scene, and he blows the amp, and then Doc's on the phone, and he's like, "Oh," all the clocks start going off, and he's like, "Oh, my experiment worked." They're all 25 minutes late, the clocks, and Marty says, "Oh, damn, I'm late for school." Okay, that 25, that 8:25, okay, the 25 again. Okay, I'm wondering if it's just a reference. It is just a reference to this date here, 25. Okay, another reference right at the start of Back to the Future with the 25. Possibilities. I believe, I can't remember what that is. In fact, we can probably just have a quick look at it. Let's have a quick look. Let's go on this scene a minute. So here Marty's just taken they're just blowing up the dam there now. Marty's taking the plunge. Rebirth. Yeah. Baptized. Okay. Oh, it's not in this clip. Hang on a minute. Holy Schmidt. I bet it's in this one though. This one's 7 minutes long. Excuse me for taking so long on this now. Oh, Pitbull as well. I want to say Pitbull had a 29 or a 59 in it. I can't remember. Put it in the Gemartrinator. I think it. I can't remember what it was. I don't have Gemartrinator up. I'm not going to bother getting it up. But I think it's got a 29 or a 59 in it. A minute. Let's just see here. What's a scene that I want? Here we are. This part right here. I can't for the life of me remember. I was trying to think. Somewhere it says how many shops there are in the mall. It's just come up from. Darn it, I can't remember. I was thinking it was either 125, 125 or something. It's going to be fuzzy as hell as well. Oh, here we go. Ah, yeah, okay. Well, it might be 75 or it might be 25. It might actually be 75. I can't remember. But you can, well, you can just about make it out here. I've gone through this one before, I'm sure, trying to figure out what that was, and I can't remember off the top of my head. Kind of looks like a. I don't know if it's a 25 or 75. I'm not sure. But either way, one's a reference to 5-7. The other one would be a reference to 2-5. Yeah, and it may well be 75 because obviously 2-5 would be pretty obvious. It would be really obvious, wouldn't it? You know, I'm kind of liking this 2-5 number now because of the reference with the dollar bill, and the thing that makes the dollar bill up is the 25. 4 lots of 25. And again, the thing that makes the missing year up, the missing 1, is again the 4 lots of 25. So, oh look, men without hats. That surely isn't a men without hats reference right there, is it? Oh, blimmin' hell, it's just never ending. I'm going to leave it there, okay? It does look like it with these funny. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, okay? Hope you enjoyed that one. I got to go to bed, so I might not bother putting a thumbnail on this one. It'll just be a title. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll keep our eyes peeled tomorrow, in the next few days, for sure. And well, the last thing I forgot to mention as well is that these days, again, the day that is in between. Let me just remind you of this on the May the 19th now. Okay, so the 519 instead of 59. Look what we have. The 139 of balance again. Yeah. So again, I don't know what to say. Certainly very interesting, and also the 18th is going to maybe be interesting. Just maybe, because of those same numbers again. Those numbers on Madonna's dartboard. Crossover there with Diana right here, and the 518, 58. and 185, and I just go around in circles with it all, to be quite honest. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Um, in fact, when it just one other thing. Um, when Marty wakes up to go to see Doc, I'm pretty sure it's like 12:27, and it flips to maybe to 12:28. I don't know what's. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like that. Again. Oh dear. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that. Cheers. Bye.